Welcome back, boils and ghouls, to more reviews from the Crypt. Welcome back to Reviews from the Crypt, kiddies. Speaking of kiddies, I've got quite the nursery crime for you here tonight. Requested by the one and only Two Baby. I like to call this nauseating novella Lower Berth. The episode opens up at a carnival. Over at the sideshow, we meet Mr. Ernest Feely, played by the iconic Louis Arquette, and he's basically telling the crowd of the horrid sights that are on display.
A display so bizarre, you have to see it with your very self-same eyes to believe it.
This is where we meet one of the freaks that Ernest was babbling about. Enoch, the two-faced man. And let me tell you something, boils and ghouls. They really mistreat poor old Enoch.
You're a naughty boy! You hear me? Naughty! Come on!
So Enoch is being scolded for leaving his cage earlier, but he's up next to be gawked at.
Enoch! The two-faced man.
Oh man, poor guy. Apparently Enoch has escaped his cage before, so this is definitely a reoccurring thing. This is where we find out that good old Enoch is dying.
Enoch is dying. Did you really think you could bribe the company doctor to keep it from me?
And also, if he escapes his cage one more time, Enoch and his master will be kicked out of the freak show.
As long as you own him, then I own you. We do things my way.
What a dickhead. And this is where we see the silhouette of a strange man. Turns out the mysterious man is Dr. Zachary Kling, played by Mark Rolston, and Mr. Kling has a proposition for Mr. Sickles. In an attempt to help save Mr. Sickles' career, the doctor offers him a sarcophagus that contains an ancient Egyptian mummy.
Your name's Mirana, Mr. Sickles. Though I prefer murder, don't you?
That's when Mr. Sickles notices the beautiful jewel necklace around her neck. So the doc wants a 60-40 split of all the cash for the display of the mummy. And being between a rock and a hard place, Mr. Sickles agrees. The freak show has a brand new attraction, and people are coming from miles around to feast their eyes on the ancient woman. But the crowd aren't the only ones smitten by the corpse. Over in his cage, Enoch is also gazing upon her beauty. Now that's what you call love at first sight right there. Cut to the next scene where a little girl comes in to give Enoch a better view of his queen. Oh, and she also gives him a gift.
Here. Elizabeth, get over here now!
Mr. Sickles comes in to scold Enoch for God knows what, when he sees that our boy Enoch has fallen in love.
I'll be go to hell. You're carrying a torch for that old bag of bones, aren't you? A normal life! A family!
What a dream-killing asshole. Mr. Sickles then notices a picture of the mummy on the newspaper with the headline that reads, "Priceless Egyptian Mummy Stolen." Mr. Sickles goes to question Kling because he's got some motherfucking explaining to do.
You didn't win that mummy in any card game. You stole it off a boat in New Orleans. What for? A necklace?
This is when we learn about the necklace around the mummy's neck.
There's a curse. Whoever attempts to take that necklace will be rendered unable to procreate, if you take my meaning.
Sickles thinks Kling is a nut.
You mean whoever takes the family jewels loses theirs? Yeah, thanks. I'll take my chances.
And attempts to walk away when this happens.
Sickles!
Well, that's one way to stick it to the man. On his way out, this old fuck attempts to frame poor Enoch for the doctor's murder.
You've been a very naughty boy, haven't you? Yes. Poor Dr. Clay.
Oh, and also to steal the shit out of the mummy's necklace. Just like the doctor said, he literally loses his fucking jewels.
Naughty boy.
Brutal. It's time for the freak show to begin. But the amazing Enoch is nowhere to be found. But the show must go on, right? When Mr. Feely goes to pulling back the curtain to reveal the mummy woman, him and the crowd are met with a shocking sight.
Myrna, the Egyptian mummy.
It's 1 year later, and some police officers come down to the carnival to have a talk with Mr. Feely about some of his lost attractions.
I never did recover my exhibits.
Well, sir, that's kind of why I'm here. There's something I think you ought to see.
We cut to a cave where we see just what happened to old Enoch and the mummy lady.
Good Lord.
And right as the episode is right about to end, we see a baby crypt keeper just chilling on the top of some rocks. So, wait a minute. Does that mean that Enoch is his daddy and the mummy is his mummy? What? That was Lower Berth. Really fucking awesome episode. I just really like this one a lot because it shows you the origins of the Crypt Keeper. So it definitely makes it one of my favorite episodes because you see how he came to be. And this episode is also a love story between a two-faced man and a motherfucking mummy. Can't go wrong with a good old-fashioned, morbidly dark love story. Oh, and I also want to shout out 2Baby2 for requesting this episode. This is one of her favorite episodes that she wanted me to talk about, so there you have it, 2Baby. Scott86, call up the babysitter, break out the barf bags, and go check out Lower Berth. And I'll see you on more reviews from the Crypt Kitties.